Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. There's some interesting stories today, and I think you'll really like the fluff. First, when we take a look at the market screener, we're following the story of the Earthport, which is the technology company, a partner of Ripple, that is trying to be taken over by both Visa and MasterCard at the same time. So here is a little update. The offer of which is in right now with Visa, who outbid MasterCard on Friday the 11th. Was it? Oh, Friday the 8th, they put in that offer. It will remain open until they receive a form of acceptance until the 12th of March 2019. And there's actually a time frame too at 1 p.m. So I still keep checking every day to see if the letter of acceptance has been accepted, and so far not yet. As a matter of fact, you can go onto the Visa website and see the entire trail of paperwork that has evolved over this takeover. It's very interesting, particularly because some of the consent letters are coming out of the Rothschilds family, which I was unaware of. And yeah, these 5 arrow logo is something that you should memorize, because that is the infamous logo of the Rothschild and Sons family. So if you are kind of curious about reading through the letters that are coming out of that camp in regards to the takeover by Visa, I think you'll find it interesting. I'll put the link to it down in the description below. Okay. In the world of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, I actually am on their email list, so I am getting on a regular basis updates almost daily as to what's going on. And I found that Hester Peirce, of course, some of us know her as Crypto Mom, she's going to participate in an asset management derivatives forum this week, actually starting on the 13th. So it will be in California, and it's part of the SIFMA, which is the Securities Industry Financial Markets Association. And she has an interview that will take place on Thursday the 14th with the government body of the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. His name is Brian Quintenz. And as the CFTC commissioner, the two of them will be in an interview. Now, I think it's a very small kind of gathering of people. You can go as a non-member. It's not too expensive, actually. If it's interesting, it's around $300 as a non-member guest to get in. But I think we're going to be able to see some of that uploaded on the website, because the SIFMA YouTube channel is actually very active and very good at showing a lot of their panel discussions. So we'll check a little bit later and see if we can tap into what Hester may be discussing with this commissioner. So I'll keep track of that. Okay, and then it was announced today that Transferwise, they just lost their CEO, and they were the company that said that, well, they will consider using Ripple technology when Ripple has more banks. Anyway, I think you have heard me talk about this company and that story before. But today we see a story that they have lowered their rates. And can banks ever compete? That is the title of this particular story. And the transfer of US $700, for example, the old fee was $6.21, and the new fee is now $5.13. You actually can go onto their website, and they have a page called the Price Checker. But I was just shocked when I was doing some examples of sending 2,000 yen, which is about, this is 20,000 yen, which is 2,000 US dollars in Japanese yen, and then, of course, getting the conversion rate, which comes out to 1,794 in US dollars. You can see that the old fee was around $11, but the new fee is now $14. And I thought, well, that's a little crazy. And I went down just to see, and it does say that sometimes prices need to increase, but only until we are able to drop them again. So for whatever reason, that corridor for them is more money. And you can see they break down their costs. 10% of those fees go to the overhead in the office, 14% is the operations and customer support teams, 18% is building and improving Transferwise, 19% is margin growing, so this portion here, and 39% is the banking partners and money moving costs. So 39%, and they're not using RippleNet or the digital asset. And 39% of their cost is to move that money. I don't know. Like I said, the old CEO, who was not seemingly a big fan of Ripple, is gone. So I'm thinking that the sales team at Ripple has a huge opportunity to check back in with this company. Okay, Coinbase. Wow, they had a very interesting article about Coinbase because everybody knows Coinbase is expanding, and one of their expansions locations is here in Japan. And in this particular interview article with Dan Romero, he said that they are awaiting for their license. So I think they've completed all the paperwork and now they are in the waiting stage. The FSA, which is the Financial Service Agency, are the people who will check that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted in order to fully license them within the approval to operate here in Japan. And they are saying that they're working closely with the FSA and they expect to launch this year. I found the interesting thing too is that they have a very close partnership with MUFG, that is the biggest bank in Japan, and I think it's number 4 worldwide. Because this part of the world, being Japan, has a robust regulatory framework, they were able to secure those types of bank partnerships and get the government approvals that they expect. But what's very interesting is the emerging markets that they are going to push into. So the big push is going into the markets of Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. And I found the article where it actually is sourced in quite a lot of detail. So they feel that the developing markets are no longer the sole primary target with the exchange. And now they're looking to expand to the underserved areas that suffer from the currency devaluations and financial inclusion hurdles. You know, I just realized my mic isn't in front of me. Okay, I'm going to move it, and I'm in a hurry today, so I don't think I can retape this, so we're just going to let it go. I'm sorry if the sound wasn't perfect for you in the beginning. And then what they want to do in 2019 is and beyond is to put this big push to dramatically expand to the number of countries offering easy on-ramps into crypto. So that is a focus for them. People speak about remittances. This is a quote in the interview. People speak about remittances as the use case for crypto, but reality is that the emerging markets, the access for fiat on and off ramps is very low. So they are looking at what areas have regulatory stance, currency volatility, banking infrastructure, age demographics, and smartphones. And they have found those 3 regions, which is Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia, make up $240 billion in annual money inflows and over the half of the world's remittance corridors. So the 300 money transfer operators, or MTOs, and transaction costs are declining across the board. The competition will not be sparse, and these fees currently stand at the average of 9%. So that's an interesting figure. And this has been in a decline for the past decade as more players enter the market from the developed countries. From developed countries, the average is even lower, like 6%. So there are some tables that provides us those percentages here. You can see the remittance corridor competitive rates. United States looks very low at 5.6. United Arab Emirates is 4. One of the higher ones is Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, Germany. Oh, Kuwait is just down to 2.8. Amazing. Anyway, if you're a numbers person, these are kind of fun, always these kinds of stats to look at. So as it goes on here, it says that there are smaller corridors that continue to see remarkably high fees. And that's this table below. And you can see Angola to Nambia, for example, is 21%. South Africa to Botswana is 18%. South Africa to Angola is 18%. Looks like Angola is a very expensive corridor to move money in. And so while the network's coverage for these MTOs, these money transfer operators, has become a near non-issue, accessibility hurdles for senders have yet to overcome by traditional brick and mortar operators, with only 30% of corridors offering the ability to transfer money online in these regions. So the number is even more stark for mobile money transfer accounting, less than 1% of the available remittance corridors. Interesting. And that is the main user group target for Coinbase. So they will always be looking at volatility, and it's going to be a hurdle that would require immediate need to convert back into fiat, ultimately a key purpose of the exchange. So that's how they really see their purpose, at being able to get that money on and get that money off as one of the key purpose for their business. So the first thing they're going to do, it looks like, in these markets is educate and start to build trust within those markets, because they are not a household name at this point. And that is kind of interesting as to the future growth strategy for Coinbase. And I know that in Japan, I really am pretty sure that XRP is going to be listed on Coinbase here. I just don't see how it could not. So that will probably be a little bit of a difference between Coinbase Japan and Coinbase US, at least for right now. Okay, let's move to the fluff. This is Tama. Tama is a station master. Well, she was a station master. Actually, yeah, she is. Let me just see if I make sure I had some notes written, not for this, but on the Coinbase for Japan. Yeah, I think I covered it all for you. Okay, back to Tama. So Tama was the official station master of a railway that was a private railway, and they were on the verge of going bankrupt. And from 2007 to 2015, this unmanned station had Tama there welcoming people who got on and got off. And because of her presence, this little tiny railway that was struggling so bad had an increase of customers who wanted to come and see Tama, and it increased its users by a lot. They were at 1.9 million, and then when Tama was put into that station master position, the visitors increased to 2.2 million, which really helped keep that private railway alive. And Tama did pass away, and it's okay. It has a happy ending. I want to show you here. This is Tama when she was working, 2000, and I think this was in 2013. I'm not quite sure. This is this was in 2007. So this was when she was first given that position. So she was a really pretty calico cat. She was born astray, and her mom's name was Miko, and actually she had a sister who they called her assistant, and her name was Chibi. So when she passed away, she was enshrined at a little shrine just about 30 minutes away. So the interesting thing is people who are still interested in visiting the shrine have continued to create revenue for that private railway. And just recently, they have put a new kitty in Tama's place. Oh, I wanted to show you. They actually created a special train for her. So you can see the outside of the train was decorated. And look at the inside. Is this just amazing? This is the inside of the train. It's just too cute. Adorable. Just so creative, so fun. But here is the great news. So after Tama passed away, she was 14 years old when she passed away. There is now a new kitty, and this is Nitama. Nitama means, ni means two. So like Tama number 2 is now the station master. So people still go to now visit Nitama and then go a little bit down the way, about 30 minutes, to go visit the shrine of the first Tama. And even Google one day on April 23rd changed the logo out to celebrate Tama's birthday on that April 29th in 12 countries. So in some parts of the world, Tama still lives on and is very famous. Yeah, it's just a great story. There's a couple other stations that have cat station masters in Japan. Maybe that will have to be for another fluff story in the future. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for you. Please take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.